This is a slightly more complicated example. Task 3 says you invested $100 for 3 years at 8% compounded quarterly. Create a compound interest table to show how much you earned each period. The equation will only give us the final amount. So we want a table to tell us how much money was earned each period. Now, since there's multiple steps to this, we're going to create something called an anchor chart. An anchor chart is where we simplify all of our information, and our table will be referring to the things in the anchor chart. Now let's fill out the information we have already. The principal is $100. The interest rate is 8%, 0.08. The number of years is 3. Number of compounding periods per year. It's told us that it's compounded quarterly, so that means we're getting interest 4 times a year. Now, the interest per compounding period is something that we need to calculate. So we put our equal sign, and we're taking the interest rate per year, and we're going to divide it, use the backslash to represent divide, the number of compounding period. So it gives us 0.02 or 2% per compounding period. The total number of compounding period we need to calculate as well. It's the number of years times the compounding period per year. So we have a total of 12. Now the next step, we're going to fill in our table. We know that there's a total of 12 periods. So we're going to need to have 12 periods here. Instead of me typing down all of the numbers, I'm going to highlight the first 2, and the computer will follow the pattern. Oops. I've extended my chart so that it goes from number 1 to 12. The principal originally starts at $100, and for us to find the interest earned on the basic principal, we're going to take the principal, which is in B11, and we're going to multiply it by our interest per compounding period. This cell would be B7. But B7 will never change. And since for every equation in this column to be multiplied by this cell, I need to put the $sign. $B, $7. This just tells the computer that it is a fixed number, and I'm always going to be multiplying by 0.02. Now our total amount earned is going to be the sum of these 2 numbers. In our next row, the principal is no longer 100. Because in compound interest, we are taking the interest on the principal and the previously earned interest. Our new principal is the amount from the previous period. I'm going to type in equals D11. Now the interest earned and the amount, I'm going to copy the equations down, and the equations will show the same, it'll apply the equations to these boxes. Now after the second row, I'm going to highlight principal, interest, and amount. For all of that, I'm going to grab the little bar and drag everything down so that it knows I want to copy the equation to all of those cells. Now it tells us the total amount after 3 years is $126.82. But it gives us all of that in a lot of decimal spots. I'm going to format this by hitting the $, so that it formats it as a currency and it becomes easy for us to read. And there we have it, our table that shows us the interest earned and the final amount after each period.